Okay, so we are back in institutions on the 22nd of April. And I think we are going to complete the capital bill spreadsheet with that for our next adjournment. So what we're trying to do, we're looking for $1.1 million that we can put back into this year's, or I should say FY26 cash fund for the White River Junction courthouse project, because that project is going on very well and we look forward to paying for it and working in it. So what we came up with so far is on line 4, we will be under column N. We will be changing 1.1 million to 850,000. And that is the statewide 3-acre parcel for our compliance. That is the F-27 amount. So we have time to
Sorry.
line 4,
We're
we're going from 1.1 million to 850,000. In FY26, we still have the 1.5 million. And we're going to very carefully monitor that program because it is required by the federal government. And it is something that we need to do to preserve our waters. The next thing we're doing is on line 8. With the Pittsfield Academy firing range upgrades, we think that we may not be ready to spend 200,000 in FY27. We'll make that final determination next year, but for this year, we're going to put 0 into that, into the bondage FY27. Then on line 15, the 32 Cherry Street parking garage repairs. We are, again, FY27 bonded. We are reducing the 500,000 to 250,000. And those are the only changes on that page. We good? Yes. Okay. Next page. On line 38, and this is the Bennington Battle Monument. And this is just the beginning of, okay, great. So have her just, I'm going to center as you be connected and she'll hear what we're saying. And I want to refer to the, actually, so we're taking, what's the amount that we're
If you take
reducing the 525?
if you reduce the 525 to 425, that is the other $100,000 you were discussing earlier.
Okay, and that's, okay, so for
That
the,
would be higher still than what the reallocation was.
yes,
It'd be
good.
less than what the House recommended, but be higher than what the reallocation was.
Okay, and that's page, that's line 38 and then column L, so that's in FY26. And we anticipate that that should be plenty for the what's going to occur in FY26. Also in FY26, we will be from lines 44 to, oh gee, here's one that's an issue. Regional economic, okay, actually, let me just double check something. The Regional Economic Development Grant Program, I believe that's not the base funding for the regional commissions.
I'm not quite clear on that.
Okay, I just want to, because their base funding already very low.
Yeah, I just looked at that.
Okay, good.
That program.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Sure.
So then,
Chair, I'll get picked with the column here.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So Laura. Hi, so you're here right at the time when It hurts my heart to do this, but we have got to find some funding in the capital bill, and what we're going to do is under the building communities grants. I really appreciated that the historic preservation grants were actually, I don't think even increasing, going back to the regular amount of 300,000. But we're going to in FY 26, not in FY 27. So in FY 27, they'll still be at the 300,000 level. But for the historic preservation grant, the barn preservation, cultural facilities, recreation facilities, and human services and regional economic development, those amounts that the House increased to 300,000 in FY 26, each of those will go to 250,000. So it's a 50,000 reduction for each program, and that will give us 300,000. And that's what so the total of all of those is what we need to put back into the White River Junction Courthouse project, which is is in its third year of construction, and it's going to be complete, and we must be able to pay for it.
That's still a win for us, right? The White River Junction Courthouse is a great building, so that's a win for us, and I appreciate that. The recommendation would be to increase in the next fiscal year, but this fiscal year would follow what the governor recommends, so that makes sense.
Okay, good. We want to make sure you knew.
Thank you.
And then, I don't know if you heard what we're going to do with the Bennington Battle Monument for this year. We'd have 425,000 in that project.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
It'll have to.
I know it's short notice. So you can definitely, with all of these things, especially obviously the ones that are required by law, we will be looking for funding some of these projects, because we know there wasn't anything put in here that was frivolous. I mean, it's all good stuff. So, if you think of anything, we'll need to fix it in a few months. But our intention is to just be as responsible as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll help us move forward the design work, and the preparation that we need to do to get to the actual installation of the scrim and the scaffolding. So we appreciate anything.
Okay, great. So it is as I said, we didn't make any changes when you were gone. So I'll entertain a motion.
Whoa, I mean,
So the motion would be to approve I'm gonna just say the.
So we're only at 800,000 with what we just did, right? Unless you jumped another 200,000.
We're at, that's lines 44 through
52.
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that. Okay.
And that was
Okay.
300,000.
Okay, so I missed that. I apologize.
No worries. Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
So I think we need a motion, right? It's a good.
I make a
Or a
motion that
straw poll, I guess.
let's do a straw poll. So the question is, with all the changes that we've made, are we all in agreement that that is what we would be wanting to do to balance our bill?
Right, and to get where we need to get for the appropriations, yes.
I'm an aye.
Okay,
I'm not happy about all the cuts we made, but yeah.
okay. Okay, I'll say aye.
Yeah, I'll, as long as everyone's kind of unhappy, then I'll compromise, right? So, aye.
Look at this guy, he's got the 3.3 million over there, that's all the three Bs are back in there.
Just so long as you got my courthouse specs.
The three Bs are all in there.
I'm good.
Jeez, the Grovies. What power he welds.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you,
So
committee.
for the next steps, just make sure I'm clear in my directions. I'll make sure John passes the language he presented to you. We'll make sure that appropriations has that with the caveat that instead of Vermont, the Department of Health, it would go that 250 for the recovery of WPDS.
Right, and there might be other changes to that language, just, but I don't know what they would be, but because we don't know that.
So I took a phone call and that $250,000 is coming out of the opioid recovery fund. For that house, and that's where and Senator Norris proposed it. And Senator Brennan as well, so that came out of just today. And it's out of the opioid settlement fund for that.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
So,
But it comes to the capital fund just
Yeah.
because it's capital?
yeah, and it will go like, I think if we all said it, it would go to BGS because that's, so.
Yeah, if it's a direct, I think we should, Madam Chair, again, thank you for letting me just participate in this conversation
Thank you for
today.
being here.
Oh, thank you.
I wanna look at the language and understand it a little bit more, because if it's a grant, I really don't want it,
Mhm.
right? That's something that I don't manage grants. So I think having clarity, most importantly, you get your dollars in place, and
Mhm.
tomorrow's gonna be a focus on language, right?
Mhm.
So, if it's something that we're buying on behalf of the state or what, I'll just look at it, but I don't.
Okay, and you have another day for language, because I believe our attorney is not available while we're in.
Yeah. And with your permission is if you do get a draft and you give him a permission to send it to me, I won't, for me to
Okay,
digest, and then I can have conversations. I will respect the process and do that.
okay, sounds good.
And then if we decide on appropriations that should have gone to ACCD instead of BGS, they can have that amendment made when they have that language. We can do it easy there.
That sounds great. And then Scott, will you be making a new spreadsheet for them?
Oh, they don't get our spreadsheet. But no, I'll make a brand new version for us
Okay.
here, which basically will take the changes we had made and put 1.1 million in bonded dollars next to the courthouse.
Yes.
Okay,
And that's
That'll be-
acceptable. We've worked with both dollars.
and so could we call that version 3?
Of course.
So it's really clear. Okay. All right. Well, I think we have done our job. Anybody else? Oh, just Friday, we may be doing a field trip. So just, well, I thought we would be going to the Windsor, site, where the former prison was. And we may still be doing that, or we may do something else. So just stay tuned. And it's optional. You don't have to go that way if you don't want to go that way. Because it is.
Go to Ben and Jerry's.
If they start having.
related institutions.
Oh, we could do that, but it wouldn't count as.
Yeah.
Okay, or anything else?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you very